How are you? I'm Kane Webb, Executive Director of Parks and Tourism, and I appreciate you guys turning out this morning. And now, for the first time in 15 months, I will have an answer to the question I get every single day. What is the future of the Razorbacks at War Memorial Stadium? I want to thank some of our commission members who've turned out, War Memorial Stadium commission members who are here. I want to thank members of the UA Board of Trustees who are here. UA System President Donald Bobbitt is here, I believe. Donald, there you go, right up front. I also want to recognize our staff here at War Memorial Stadium, especially our stadium manager, Ron Sally, his assistant, John Latch. I am really excited about what we're going to announce today. It has been an interesting process for me as an old sports writer. I always realized how important Razorback football was to this state and how important Razorback football was to this stadium. At least I thought I did, until the War Memorial Stadium was put under the purview of Parks and Tourism. It is something unique in Arkansas, and I have come to fully embrace that and fully understand that. And I want to thank the University of Arkansas, especially Athletic Director Hunter Yurchek, Chancellor Steinmetz, and his team for working closely with us over the last few years. Also want to recognize Kevin Crass, chairman of our commission. You'll hear from him in a little bit, who has just an incredible institutional knowledge of what's happened here and has been a great supporter and aid for us as we go forward. I want to get this thing moving along because I know you guys are going to have questions. I see a few members of the media here. So I would like to start by introducing Chancellor Steinmetz, who's going to kick us off. I think the Chancellor's been in Arkansas a couple of years now. He has fully embraced the state. I've got to know him a little bit over the last few months as we have gone through this process. And I tell you what, I've really enjoyed getting to know the Chancellor. I really like his style. And I am happy to introduce him here this morning to get us started. Chancellor.
Thanks, Kane. I didn't quite know I had a style, but I like that. First, thanks for everybody to come out. I think the passion with this issue is shown by the number of people that are here, and as always, it's great to be here in Little Rock. Little Rock is not only the capital city, of course, but it's right in the heart, and maybe the heart of this great state. We're all Arkansans, and the university benefits from Arkansas, and Arkansas benefits from the university. And I know there's a perception out there, I've heard about it often since I became chancellor about 2.5 years ago, and that's the perception that the university serves only Northwest Arkansas. But I want to assure you that that's not the case. We're here for all of Arkansas. Indeed, we are the University of Arkansas. It's important to mention that fact because, as I said, the university is important for Arkansas, and I think in return, Arkansas is important for the university. Our mission really hasn't changed since 1871. We have a mission of research and teaching and outreach, and it's that last piece, that outreach and engagement as a land grant and a flagship university here in the state, that we can't forget about. And if that outreach means outreach to the entire state, and that's what we're trying to do. So our very purpose deep down is to make lives better for Arkansans, and I think we do a good job at that. We literally recruit students from every part of this state. Our students represent every county in this state, and our graduates live and work in every county here in this state. And we literally touch every corner of the state through our outreach and the work that we do. And that's from finding solutions to challenges through research and expertise and teaching, helping businesses grow and thrive through executive education, and in providing skilled graduates to the entire state. And we also serve our communities through teacher training and other efforts, too numerous to mention. So I think we do serve Arkansas, and it's an important part of what we are and who we in what we do. I'm right now actually currently traveling the state for the 3rd year in a row with a group of around 35 faculty members from the University of Arkansas. Really, the heart and purpose of this trip every year is to listen and learn and help our university faculty get a better understanding of the people and places that they serve. And they come away from this trip with a new understanding and a greater understanding of this state. I might also add a much greater appreciation for the state of Arkansas. And yes, the Arkansas Razorbacks are a big part of that engagement. You have to just travel in the most southern parts of the state and see the number of Razorbacks everywhere that you look to know the touch that the Arkansas Razorbacks have. And this is the first time I've been in a state that doesn't have a presence of a large professional team here. So we know and appreciate the fact that the Razorbacks serve that purpose, and have done that for years and years here. So we take this very serious, and so it's easy to understand the impact that this college's sports can have on the tradition and where we are in uniting the state. We're standing today at a tangible example of connecting history with that tradition. The Razorbacks have played football in War Memorial Stadium many, many times over the past decades, and many people have shared with me their memories of attending games. It's a weekly occurrence when I hear somebody talk about going to a football game in this stadium. And since Hunter Yurachek arrived on campus earlier in the fall, we've spent time visiting chambers of commerce and communities around Arkansas and heard that same message loud and clear and very, very often. Our goal has been to continue to build bridges, to make friends, and to be present so that our alumni, our friends and fans across the state never doubt that the U of A is the University of Arkansas. So with that, I'd like to ask RAD Hunter Yurachek to please come to the podium and share with you today's news. Thank you very much.
Well, Chancellor, thank you for those remarks, and thank you for your continued leadership of our institution, and thank you for letting me know I've been here since the fall as well. It just seems that way, doesn't it? You and I have traveled so much together, I didn't know. So, well, good morning. It is indeed another great day to be an Arkansas Razorback, is it not? Yes, it is. And it is my pleasure and my privilege to be here and to serve as your Director of Athletics and represent our 465 student athletes at the University of Arkansas. And one of the things that Chancellor Steinmetz and others shared with me when I interviewed for this position was a tremendous passion that this state has for their Razorbacks. And you simply can't understand it until you have an opportunity to experience it for yourself. And for the past 5 months, I've had that opportunity. I've been fortunate to be able to travel all over this state and talk to, and most importantly listen to, Arkansans who care deeply about the University of Arkansas and their beloved Razorbacks. I've learned that the Razorback fans have a lot of passion, and yes, they have a lot of opinions. But at the root of that passion is an intense desire to see the Razorbacks succeed both in the SEC and at the national level. It is that passionate support that makes our state special and unique. One of the challenges that storied programs like ours face is balancing the deeply rooted traditions that has helped make us great with the evolving needs of our program that will help make us even greater. Throughout this process, I have been asked by many what factors I would take into consideration in making this decision. As I have said many times over the past 5 months, if this were simply a dollars and cents decision, it would be an easy one for a Director of Athletics to make. And while providing the necessary financial support for our student athletes is and always will be essential to our success, when it comes to the Razorbacks in this state, the investment is much deeper than a simple spreadsheet. I'm pleased to share with all of you today a special announcement that I believe not only embraces our tradition, but supports our vision for the future. I am happy to announce that the University of Arkansas and the Arkansas Department of Parks and Tourism have reached an agreement to continue the tradition of playing football at War Memorial Stadium. Our new agreement extends our partnership in Central Arkansas through 2024 with the initial intention of playing 3 battle line rivalry games against the University of Missouri to take place every other Thanksgiving weekend beginning in 2019. In addition, we are working with the SEC to seek permission to bring our red-white spring game to War Memorial Stadium in alternate years. The structure of this agreement will allow us to continue our tradition of Razorback football games here in Little Rock, while at the same time ensuring that no less than 6, and in some seasons 7, games will be played in our newly renovated Razorback Stadium in Fayetteville. As part of this agreement, we have also outlined a plan for important facility enhancements and ticket sales benchmarks that are necessary to make sure we provide our student athletes and our fans a great experience. Our goal in identifying those needs specifically as part of this agreement is to provide a framework to work together with the Department of Parks and Tourism and War Memorial Stadium to see those enhancements and benchmarks come to fruition, and that the games played here at War Memorial Stadium are indeed a success. As with any decision, I know we will have differing perspectives on today's announcement. And while it might not be a perfect solution for our constituents individually, it is the right decision for Arkansas collectively. At this time, Chancellor Steinmetz, if you join me, we'd like to ask Kevin and Kane to come forward with a brief presentation to commemorate this day.
Hey, all right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Hunter. Thank you, Chancellor. I remember when the first time I met Hunter Yurchek, shortly after he started as athletic director of Arkansas, Kevin Crass and I actually were in his office, and I was very impressed by the fact that Hunter asked us a ton of questions. He wanted to know about the history of this stadium. He wanted to know about why Arkansans were so passionate about the Razorbacks. He wanted to understand why Arkansas is a little bit different from every place else. We are a little bit different, and this is another example of that. At this time, I want to introduce Kevin Crass, who has been a great partner with me on this. He's been on our War Memorial Stadium Commission for about a dozen years. He's been chairman for the last 8 years. I've never met anyone who's more passionate about this stadium or the Razorbacks. I think being chairman of War Memorial Stadium Commission is like having a second job, and the pay's not too good, Kevin. I think it's still zero, but I appreciate you hanging in there with us, Kevin. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Kane. I appreciate the kind words, and it's my pleasure to be here on behalf of the Stadium Commission. And we have a few of our commissioners here. Brenda Sisson, who's in her 3rd term. Darrell Coker's the rookie. He's been on the commission about 3 months. Donnie Cook's in his 2nd term. Chris Beckett, former Razorbacks, in his term, and I'm grateful they are here. We also have Gary Smith, who was on the commission and chair before I was, and so much of the physical facility is the result of Gary's leadership. Without what he accomplished, I promise we wouldn't be here today. Briefly, let me just say that I'm very excited and grateful today. I've been involved with the stadium for a long time. My first game here was an 8-year-old in 1968. I had no idea that at that time the stadium was just 20 years old, having opened in 1948. I've not missed a game in War Memorial in over 50 years, in the 50-year history since 1968. I was so honored when Governor Huckabee put me on the board and the commission, and then reappointed by Governor Beebe over Morrill's veto. I'm kidding. And he designated me chair. And then I've continued to serve at Governor Hutchison's pleasure. And I must say, all 3 of those governors have been nothing but totally supportive of War Memorial Stadium. So today, having lived the history and studied it, if you want to hear something interesting about War Memorial, go into the oral history in the Pryor Center and listen to Coach Broyles' interview about how valuable War Memorial was to the University of Arkansas. And I've said every time I've had a chance to say it, this has been a great partnership for 70 years. And like any partnership, it makes both partners, all partners, stronger as a result. And neither the stadium nor the football program would be where they are today had they not had each other. And that does make, as several speakers said, our state very unique. And sometimes we sell ourselves short with the uniqueness of playing games in Little Rock. Some people view it as a negative. I view it as a positive. No other state in this country can say that games off campus in the capital city have survived. Where Jackson and Birmingham failed, Little Rock has thrived and survived. And there are a lot of people to thank for that. And as I say, it's not just a contract, it's not just a partnership, as Hunter has already learned in the brief time here. It's a rich tradition, and traditions should not be cherished, or should be cherished, they should not be tossed. And he said, not everybody agrees with today's decision. It didn't take long for the news to break and social media to react to understand that. And from my perspective, I think the disagreement is over not making a right decision versus a wrong decision. It's a decision between two right decisions. Neither one of the decisions, whether to play here or not to play here, would be wrong. There are reasons. And when you're choosing between two rights as opposed to a right and wrong, it makes it difficult. And I want to say today I'm very grateful to those who've helped make this possible. I remember years ago when President Bobbitt and I were at a charity dinner and I was wearing him out about War Memorial Stadium. And he turned to me, as I've learned he has great skill, and he says, "You know, Kevin, we're not going to solve this problem tonight." We were at a meeting at a charity event last month, and he said to me, "Keep fighting for the stadium, Kevin." And I have, and I appreciate your support, Dr. Bobbitt. To the new Chancellor and the new AD, I appreciate you listening, not only to those on your bus tour and those that you've met as you described, but to me. Kane and I had the privilege of going and meeting with Hunter Yurachek, and he was all ears, and I filled him. I have a lot to say about War Memorial, and I appreciate you listening, Hunter, and trying to understand the uniqueness of this state. So what I would say to folks that I'm excited about is that it gives the stadium a chance to move forward. We've got 70 years of memories throughout this state, but what today's announcement is about is making memories in the future. And we have now 7 years of continuous presence here in Arkansas with the Ole Miss game next year, and then the contract, as Hunter described, with Missouri. I get asked all the time, why can't we play the Thanksgiving game in Little Rock? I can tell you now we will have a Thanksgiving game. I think it'll be a new tradition where families can gather at home in central Arkansas. And, you know, sometimes Thanksgiving holidays, it's time for the family to get out of the house and go see others. And now you can come tailgate either the Friday or the Saturday of that weekend. It's going to enable the stadium to invest in the future. And it's going to enable us to maintain what some call the grand old lady. And I would just urge today in closing that this decision's been made and we're all going to execute it. It's time for the state of Arkansas to come together in unity, because that's the only way the U of A and the athletic program are going to reach the level of excellence that we all desire. So I would urge those who are listening and watching, take this opportunity to come and make new memorable moments and create lifelong memories like we had. And the first step's easy. Buy a ticket to the Ole Miss game next October. And let's fill War Memorial Stadium and don't have to answer any questions about empty seats. So I want to say thanks to the governor as well. And not only he has supported the stadium in its placing in Parks and Tourism, that's been a real boost for the stadium, but he has been very supportive of our efforts to keep the Razorbacks in Little Rock, and I look forward to celebrating with all of you next October as we beat the Ole Miss Rebels. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kevin. Tickets are on sale now, right, for the Ole Miss game? Yeah. I mentioned earlier I'm an old sports writer. Wally Hall gave me my first job in 1986. I don't think he still regrets it, but I appreciate that, Wally. And it's easy to be cynical sometimes about big-time athletics as a sports writer, as a fan, whatever. In an era in which it seems like every decision at big-time college athletics, and it doesn't get any bigger time than SEC football, is driven by money, this one wasn't. And I think the University of Arkansas deserves a lot of credit for that. At this time, Kevin Trainer, we're going to have make folks available for interviews. We're not going to do it from here. I think Hunter's going to be over here. The Chancellor will be there. We have a news release that has gone out here and over to media outlets, and the agreement has gone out also. Thank you very much for coming. Go Hogs!